You think you're ready to show your tracks? Join the forum at www.artfxstudios.com/forum.
Hey guys, welcome back to ARTFX Tutorial Tuesday. This week I want to talk about the second drop and how I'm going to switch it up to a dubstep style drum pattern. Let's get started. So the build-up is pretty much finished right now, and it's time to copy all the bass notes from the first drop to the second drop. I do this by selecting an area I want to copy, and then I control click and drag the selected clips to the second drop section of the track. Now I'm going to switch up the drums in this part to a dubstep drum pattern. So let's open up the drum group and find the main kick and snare track. Now I zoom in at the start of the second drop and start isolating the kick and the snare. First I'll loop the first 4 bars of the second drop, and then I zoom in on this so I can see the separate hits for each kick and snare. Now I can safely delete everything except the first kick and the first snare. Okay, so dubstep uses a half-time drum pattern. This means that the drums play at half the speed of the current project BPM. My project is at 120 beats per minute, so the drums for a dubstep part would be 64 beats per minute, half of the project's tempo. So to create this I need to move the snare hit over 1 more beat to the right. Now we have a half-time beat. Simple, huh? Now I'm going to stop talking for a little moment and arrange the new drum part. Just follow along to see how I do this. Always keep in mind that the most important part is the relation between the drums and the main bass line. So having the drums hit together with the bass is always good and will give your track some more consistency. At this point, I'm just listening to how the bass and the drums work together and try to keep them flowing nicely. Please don't rush yourself. The key to making your track stand out is spending a lot more time on each individual part so that it flows perfectly with the other parts of the track. Okay, so now I've converted the Electro House drum pattern into a dubstep drum pattern. Sweet! Let's see how far in the track this drum pattern will go. As you can see and might already know, the drop is made in 3 8-bar parts, resulting in a 24-bar drop. I want the dubstep drum pattern to last for 16 bars, and the last 8 bars it will switch back to the Electro House drums again. Time to consolidate the new MIDI notes in one clip, so I can easily make a variation for the next part. I select the new drum part and press Ctrl+J on my keyboard to consolidate them. Now I copy these new clips over to the next part, so I can make a variation on the previous clip. Don't totally switch things up though, keep it simple. So I take out these fast kick drum notes since they don't flow well with the bass in this part of the drop. One final thing to do, which most of the time sound good, is creating a little variety at the end of the 8-bar part. Here I switch up the drums a little to create a nice fill that leads you into the next part of the drop. This technique is very similar to what a drummer does at the end of each part of a track. If you listen to rock music, for instance, you always hear these big drum fills at the end of a part that leads you into the next part. This technique is kinda like that. Okay, so now I'll copy over the new dubstep drum clips to the next part of the drop and see how it fits. Okay, so obviously I'm going to take out the drum fill at the end, so that we have a little silence in the drum section before the Electro House drums kick back in. I also like to take one single snare from the Electro House drum part and place it right before the first kick drum of the next part. This will lead you in the Electro House drum part without making another complicated drum fill. Okay, so now I'm going to duplicate the snare track. I do this so I can have the dubstep snare and the Electro House snare on a separate track, and so I can also process them independent from each other. Now I just need to delete all the duplicated parts so that I'm left with just the parts I need. Okay, so there you have it. Next week I'll continue with making this snare sound a little bit bigger with some reverb and other effects. I don't have that much time recently because of upcoming releases and my new forum, so the tutorials are a little bit short, but don't worry, there will be a long 1-hour session again very soon. Oh, before I forget it, on my forum there will be a big production contest soon for all my viewers, and you can win big prizes by Loopmasters. So come to the forum at www.artfx-studios.com/forum and join the discussion. See you next week.